turn it into a perfect square trinomial. So our first step is we actually have to practice completing the square, then we're going to practice factoring it, okay? To complete the square, step number 1 says you're going to take half of your b value. So our b, remember that's the number hiding in front of x, right? That would be 6. What's half of 6? 3. Half of 6 most definitely is 3. So that's step 1. You just got to take half of b. Step 2 is you got to square it. So we're going to take 3 and we're going to square it. What's 3 squared? 9. 3 times 3 is 9. What we just found, that is the number that's going to turn it into a perfect square, which we like because it factors in a really special way. That's what we're doing, okay? So now, part 3, we are going to complete the square. Technically, it's by adding it to both sides. But we don't have two sides here. This one is not telling us to solve right now. This one is just telling us to complete the square. So when you have both sides, you would do both sides. So we're going to take our original polynomial. So we have x squared plus 6x. And we're going to add what completes the square. And we just found out it's 9. So we're going to add 9. So that is now a perfect square. So because it's a perfect square, it factors in this special way. Okay? So the fourth step is to factor and simplify. Hi, Levi, if you have to. We are doing section 4.4. Okay, so the way it factors, we'll factor it like normal, but it actually factors a special way because it's considered a perfect square, and hopefully you'll see it. So remember when we factor, we think about what multiplies to be that c value and adds to be your b value. So guys, what multiplies to be 9 and adds to be 6? What do you guys think, Riley? 3 and 3, yep. Do you guys see how it's the same each time? It's like identical factors. That's what makes it a perfect square. So we actually write it in this special way. And I'm going to fix it because it's not really equal to 0 because we're not really solving right now. So since it's the same, we write it like this. That would be your factored form. So your answer for this one, they wanted you to complete the square. We did it right here. And then factor it. That's our second part. I would just pick it up with the next one. Questions on what we just did? Okay. We're going to keep practicing those same steps, you guys. Thankfully, there's only 4 slides to do it. And the word problem that we're going to do today, you have to put your focus in on it because that is literally the same word problem that's going to be on your test. So that's the one you want to make sure you copy down and kind of pay attention for because it's going to be really similar on the test. Same process, just different numbers. Okay, let's do it again. We love repetition, right? Yay. Okay, now, so steps. Step number 1, take half of the b value. Our b value is -9. What is half of -9, you guys? Very good, -4.5. That is half of our b value. Step number 2, we have to square it. What is negative 4.5 squared? Feel free to grab a calculator, by the way, because we are going to be calculating, and I don't want to be the only one doing it. Annabelle, what's negative 4.5 squared? Oh, it's okay. You're going to do parentheses, and then you're going to go negative 4.5, close parentheses, and the squared is right to the left of the 7. Nailed it. Good job. So that's the number that completes the square. So now step 3 says we write our original polynomial, and then we actually complete the square. We add what completes the square to it. And we would add it to both sides if it was equal to something, but it's not. And then step 4, I'm going to factor and simplify. But this one's kind of a weirdo, right? Because who wants to sit there and think about what multiplies to be negative 20.25? Do you want to do that? I don't want to do that. All we got to do, because it's a perfect square, if you guys look at this one, okay, do you guys see the number that was actually our factor right here was a 3, right? It's going to be the same as whatever you get in step 1. So all you got to do is take whatever you get in step 1, and that becomes your factor because it's a perfect square. So in step 1, we got negative 4.5. So that actually turns into our factor. And you can test it, right? You can totally test it right now. In our calculator, I'm going to go negative 4.5 times negative 4.5. That multiplies to be 20.25. And then I'm going to add. I'm going to go negative 4.5 plus negative 4.5, and that adds to be negative 9. So kind of the shortcut way to get whatever you need, it's whatever you got in step 1. That's it. So we're going to factor it, and the number from step 1 is what goes in there as my factor. Makes it way easier. You're welcome. Okay? And then that's my answer. My answer is steps 3 and 4. They wanted to see the factored form and the completed square. So it's kind of weird. It's like taking a quadratic and kind of turning it into what we need it to be. So let's write a definition down. What does it mean to complete the square? That is the process of turning a quadratic equation into a perfect square. That is why you complete the square. That's what it is. Okay? It is a pretty useful technique, but often looked over because it's just a weird process. Questions? Okay, Janaya, head up, please. Thank you, my dear. All right, let's do the next one. Okay, now this one is kind of all set up for completing the square, right? You guys see that? See how the C value is already on the other side? But we're going to now solve it, okay? So step 1 kind of turns into, oh, quit messing with me, man. Put them away. That still counts as technology. Should be in your pocket. I didn't realize that was hilarious. My bad. Step 1, you're going to kind of get, before step 1 even, you're going to get it ready to go, right? So you're going to make sure you have room to complete the square. And now we have room, right? All we did is kind of space it out a little bit, but it was already moved to the other side. So we're good there. Now we're going to follow our steps. we're going to take half of your b value. So our b value is negative 16. It's the number in front of x. Half of that, what's half of your b value, guys? What's half of negative 16? Negative 8. So that's step 1. Step 2 says we got to square it. So we're going to square what we got. What is negative 8 squared? 64. Yep. Step 3, we're going to complete the square. By adding it to both sides. So we're going to add 64 to both sides of our original polynomial. So we had x squared minus 16x equals negative 15. We're going to add 64 to both sides. So now we have two sides, okay? So now we actually complete the square. And our last step is to factor and then simplify. So on the left side, I'm going to factor it. And remember, the number you got in step 1 is what goes in there. Okay, what did we get in step 1?
8.
Not 8. Negative 8. We got negative 8. That's what goes in there. And now the other side, negative 15 plus 64. What is that? So 49 is right. Can you stop with the gum, please? Thank you. Okay. So we completed the square and we rewrote it. That should look really familiar to you because we just solved a whole bunch of that, right? That's exactly what we just did. Exactly what we just did. So now we're going to solve. Now the last part is to solve it. My squared is isolated, so I'm going to do the opposite of squaring. What's the opposite of squaring? Say it again. Not dividing. And you weren't here. We went through it a whole bunch, but that's okay. What's the opposite of squaring, Riley? Square root. Yeah, someone said it. Very good. Square root. Square root. So we get x minus 8 equals positive or negative 7. And then I'm going to write my two equations. X minus 8 equals the positive 7. And x minus 8 equals negative 7. What would I do to solve for x there? What's the opposite of negative 8? Plus 8. Plus 8. So we get x is equal to 15 and x is equal to 1. So a lot of people avoid this because the steps are just kind of weird, but it does work. And you can do it with decimals. You guys will see that. Okay, we're going to do it again. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, is my C value out of the way? Nope, it's not. It's not out of the way. See, there's still there. It's a plus 17. So how do I move it to the other side? I'm going to subtract 17. So now we have x squared minus 18x equals negative 17, right? I need to head up, you guys. You're still in class. Luis, head up. You should be writing notes. All right. So now we're going to do our steps. Step 1. Half of the b value. What's our b value? Negative 18. What is half of that? Very good. So that's my b value. Number 2, we're going to square that. What's negative 9 squared? Positive 81. I get why you guys said negative. Remember, it is positive. Positive. Step 3, we take that 81 and we add it to both sides of my polynomial. Okay, so that completes the square. Okay, remember, whatever you got in step 2 is what is added to each side there. Step 4, I'm going to factor and then simplify. And remember, you guys, when you factor, which step tells me what I put in my factor? Riley, step 1, right? What do we get in step 1? What number, Riley? Negative 9. So my factor becomes x minus 9. And we can do that because we have a perfect square. All right, and then let's simplify. What's negative 17 plus 81? What is that? Adrina, you got that one? What's negative 17 plus 81? Negative 17 plus 8. You can use your calculator. I was just going to, no judgment. That's what I do. I'll do the same so we can see if we match. Very good. Levi got it too. Good job. Now we're going to solve it. What's our first step in solving it, you guys? Square root it. X minus 9 equals plus or minus 8. You will not always have a perfect square number there. You might have a decimal, and you'll see that in the next example. And then we're going to write our 2 equations. How do we get the x by itself? What's the opposite of subtracting 9? Adding. So we get x is equal to 17 and x is equal to 1. Okay, questions? Now, is it always going to happen where a value is 1? Nope, it isn't. So here's what we got to talk about what to do in case your a value is not. It's a quick, easy thing to do. Riley, you got to put your head up. Quick, easy thing of what to do, okay? So check out this one. Do you guys see how it's not 1? There's a 2 in front of x squared. What do you guys think I'm going to do with that 2? Any guesses? Divide. You're right. You're so right. We are going to take that 2, the number in front of x squared, we're just going to divide everything by 2. You're going to do that right away. So if you guys see a number in front of x squared, whatever it is, you're going to divide it out. Now we got to do our steps. And we'll do them as quick as you guys can tell me them so we can stop talking and get to work. And there's only one more slide after this. What's our b value? 10. What's half of 10? 5. What's 5 squared? So that is what I add to both sides, correct? Don't say sure. We say yes. That is right. So we add 25 to both. Now I got to factor. Which step tells me what goes into those factors? Which step? 1, right? What number did I get in step 1? 5. So that becomes my factor. And now we got to solve. What's my first step in solving, you guys? Guys, knock it off. Keep writing. Get to your notes. Square root. That is my first step. I'm going to square root. So x plus 5 equals plus or minus the square root of 29. Can someone do that in your calculator? You will get a decimal, and you want to round it to at least the nearest hundredth. So in your calculator, you guys, everybody should do square root of 29, hit enter, and you're going to see the square root of 29 pop up again, right? We got to hit the arrows above enter. That's going to turn it into a decimal. I wish I had more people doing it than just 2, you guys, because this question's going to come up. You're going to say, how do we turn it into a decimal? And I'm going to say, too bad, we learned in class. No, I'll tell you what it is. What did you get?
5.385.
That's right, 5.385. And you could leave it like that if you wanted, or you could put 5.39, right? You could do that. So we'll say x plus 5 equals 5.39. X plus 5 equals negative 5.39. I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. How do we solve for x? How do we get that away from the x? Subtract it. So we get x is equal to 0.39 and x is equal to negative 10.39. We have 2 more mathy things to do. Stay with me. 2 more. The next one is just another practice of what we just did. Okay, so Riley, head up. Janiyah, head up. Second time I'm asking you. Please do it. Thank you. I don't want to do that yet. Okay, right here. Is my A value 1? No. What is it? 2. How do I get rid of it? Divide. By what number? By 2. Whatever it is, you're going to divide. So we're going to go x squared plus 6x minus 5 equals 0. Now what do I got to do? Is my C value out of the way? I got to add 5. We got to move the C value. X squared plus 6x equals 5. Okay, now we have to take half of our B value, which is 3. Yep, half of 6 would be 3. And then we have to square it. What's 3 squared? 9. And then we have to add it to both sides. And then we're going to solve it. What's the factor that's going to go in there, you guys? 3. Comes from step 1. Now I got to solve it. First step in solving it. Square root. So we get x plus 3 equals, can someone do the square root of 14, please? 3.75. I'm going to have to give Adrena some fruit snacks. She's my calculator person. I like it. Thank you. Okay. So then we're going to write our 2 equations. X plus 3 equals 3.75. And x plus 3 equals negative 3.75. How do I solve for x? How do we solve for x? I'm going to subtract 3. So we get x is equal to 0.75 and x is equal to negative 6.75. That's it. Okay, so that's the process, guys. We do have to talk about the word problem. I think personally the word problem is actually a lot easier to factor instead of completing the squares. So I'm going to maybe suggest we do that, but whatever. We'll practice the same thing. Okay, so we'll kind of go from there. All right, we have one more example to do, and it's a word problem. So we'll get through a quick read, but I need you to wake up your brain. Okay, if you're sleepy, whatever, try to wake up because this is the problem that is going to show up on your test. It's not the same way, but it's the same idea. So the test you'll have on Thursday. Next Thursday. Technically this Thursday because it's Friday, but whatever. Okay, so you decide to use chalkboard paint to create a chalkboard on a door. You want it to cover at least 6 square feet. There's your area, guys. 6 square feet. That's an area. Find the width of the border. So they tell you the length and the width of the door, right? But they took away a chunk of the door for this border, and they're calling it X. And they only give you the area of this inside part. So your job, we got to adapt this length of the door frame to match the chalkboard. Okay? So area is the same as length times width, right? Our length used to be 7. How many borders did they take away for that length? How many borders did they take away? 2. There's a border here and a border here. So they had a length of 7 and they took away a border of 2 X's. What about the width? We had a width of 3 and they took away that same border. So what would I write for the width? Gabby, what do you think? Riley? 2. We're going to have a 2x in there. 2x taken away from what original width? 3. That's right. 3 minus 2x. And the area they told me was what? 6. 6 square feet. So now this, you guys, is what you have done a million times over. We got to foil it out or box method, your choice. Then we got to move the 6 over and factor, or in our case today, complete that square. So we'll complete the square. So we're going to do first, outside, inside, last. And then we're going to simplify and move the 21 over to the other side so we can complete the square. So we get negative 15 equals, we'll move our 4x. I'm just kind of rearranging. I'm putting my 4x first. Okay, you guys see what happened there? We set it up, we foiled it out, and we moved the 21 over to the other side because we're going to complete the square. And then we combined negative 14x and 6x. Am I ready to complete the square? Are you sure? What do we need to divide out first? The 4. We got to get rid of the 4, right? So let's divide everything by 4. You're going to have a little decimal here, and that's okay. Negative 15 divided by 4 is negative 3.75. And then over here, you're going to have x squared minus 5x. Okay, let's figure out what completes the square. Let's take half of our b. What's half of negative 5? Negative 2.5. Let's square that. What's negative 2.5 squared? Adrena, you got that one for me? 6.25. Very good. And then we're going to complete that square. We're going to add it to both sides. So negative 3.75 plus 6.25. And then we're going to add it to the other side too. Now we're going to factor and simplify. So if I do the left side, I get negative 3.75 plus 6.25. So we get 2.5. And then, guys, what factor is going to go in there? We're going to check out step 1. What do we get in step 1? Negative 2.5. So x minus 2.5. Now we're ready to solve, right? What do I do to solve it? Square root. So we get x minus 2.5. And what's the square root of 2.5? 1.58. Yeah, do we need to worry about a negative here, you guys? Well, we might. We might need to check it out. So 1.58, we'll do a plus or minus just in case. So now we're going to solve it. So we're going to write our two equations. We're going to have x minus 2.5 is 1.58. And x minus 2.5 is negative 1.58. So we got to go through and we have to solve. How do I solve? How do I get x by itself? Braden, what would I do? Add 2.5 to each side. So x is equal to 1, I'm pretty sure it's like 4-ish. 1.58 plus 2.5, you get 4.08. And over here, same deal. So we get negative 1.58 plus 2.5, and you get 0.92. All right, so one of those is going to make sense. So we got to check it. And all they want to know, find the width of the border. So either one of those are positive. Technically, they would work, but let's check it. So one of our dimensions was 7 minus 2x. We're just going to make sure that kind of makes sense. So we'll go 7 minus 2 times, we'll check our first x, 4.08. And it's going to be way more obvious which one you need. Okay, and that actually gives you a negative. So when I plug it back in, I got a negative for one of my dimensions. If I try the other one, and it kind of works the same way when you check it, I don't get a negative. So it actually, when you take it and plug it in, this is the one that ends up working. So you have two choices. You could either take it and plug them back into your dimensions, and as long as they give you answers that make sense, that's your answer. Or you could take it and plug it into your original polynomial up here to see which makes sense. Okay? So there's a few options. That process is what you want to get down and practice. And we'll do more of that